Hello, Fromers. I'm Mitch, and I'm here to do the 4th week video. Recently, I have been thinking a lot about projections, anime, animus, persona, personae, all those different things associated with Joseph Campbell's circle of consciousness. And while I was watching a number of other Frome videos that we've been making, and thinking about it myself, I've started wondering a lot more about this, the difference between anime projections, and our persona. And what I've noticed is that a persona in my life seems to have different connotations than it might have normally. But anyway, that's getting ahead. The anima, as Joseph Campbell put it, was as part of this unconscious force that is what dominates our projections, and our projections are what are projected on the people around us, the things around us too. It doesn't have to be people, and these typically manifest as some inner part of our body, of our mind, that we don't consciously realize, and part of that is the anima and the shadows that we carry with us. These are things that could have had an effect on us much earlier in our lives, and these projections can be good or they can be bad. It could be a person that you like or dislike for a variety of reasons that you see in yourself. These could be your friends, enemies, family, it could be anything. And these tell your ego, the conscious part of your body, what's in it. So once the ego knows what's in it, in your conscious, it starts to make a persona. And in Joe Campbell's circle, you had the threshold of consciousness, and then underneath it, that was the this was the anima. You didn't consciously know it, but it affected the projections out here, which reflected back into the ego. And around the ego and the conscious part is the persona. And persona, which is typically, I think from a Greek reference, is a mask that people wear in plays. And so when I thought about that, I started thinking about the plays that I do. These, I find it so much easier to slip into characters that I'm given through a play, a drama, or a comedy. And I feel like this contrasts deeply with my own understanding of myself. If you'd ask me who I am, I would reply, I have no idea who the hell I am. It's just, I don't know, I can't really see past this threshold of consciousness as to what makes me me. And I'm just now learning how to look at people around me and see these projections that I'm projecting onto them that would reflect my unconscious. But anyway, it's like a very deep fog that I just can't see through, that I have to see my way through, feeling around, groping for everything. But the persona, and with plays that I'm in, I find that when I'm giving a character, such as Macduff, or Caviel, or anyone I'm playing in a drama, their entire being, the collectiveness of that character is written in that piece of paper, and it's much easier to see that. And I've been wondering, why is this so hard? Why am I having all these troubles looking at this, at myself, but looking at other characters so easily? And I started thinking that, oh, these characters, they're written in scripts, in books, on two-dimensional objects, and what I'm seeing is like a three-dimensional being looking onto a sheet of paper. If you're to draw a one-dimensional point, it's just a point. But if you were to draw in 2 dimensions, that would be a complete circle. And that's coincidentally what Joseph Campbell uses to represent the threshold of conscious, or not the threshold, the entire being of, well, no, I know this. It's the extent of what our experience is. I think that's what it is. And that is, since that's a circle, we're able to peer in from our third dimension standpoint and see all the inner workings. And I see that as part of these characters in the plays that I act in. I look down, I see the words, which are two-dimensional, and I am able to figure out, oh, their motive is this, oh, they're doing this for that reason. and that is their border of conscious experience. And so I started feeling bad for myself that, oh, I know these characters, these personae, better than I do, because I take these characters, I put them on myself, and I find that very easily to jump into because I understand them so well. And so that made me think, oh, I don't understand myself. I just can't jump into my own personality, my own being. And then I thought, well, humans are much more complex than just the ones that we're given on paper. We exist in 3 dimensions: forward, backwards, left, right, up, down. So our, as Joseph Campbell's circle goes, our perimeter of experience isn't a circle, it's a sphere. And when that dawned on me, like, oh, I have much more to me than just a circle. It's a sphere with a plane as my threshold of consciousness, and a box, literally, instead of a square, a box that is my ego, and shadows with an anima underneath it. And so instead of a persona or an animus radius or circumference, it's more of a hemisphere. You've got the persona up here, and you have the anima down here. And when I really pictured this as a sphere, I started less fearing myself. I started fearing a lot less the unconscious part of my sphere of consciousness, of experience. And once I realized that there's multiple dimensions to go, and that there's so much I don't know, that these projections all around me are much more complex than I thought they were, it's not going to be as easy as I think to understand others and then understand myself. I think the simplest form is just to do what we were talking in class, and that's just to have the capability to love others, or to love myself, and believe that I can love others and be loved. And by doing that, I start to love others, and by loving others, I love those projections. Those projections are myself, so I'm loving myself, and that's kind of the being of selfishness that we have been talking about, the good kind of selfishness, that not the bad kind that society projects onto the word selfishness. And once you understand that the people around you are as complex as you are, that they have spheres of experience, that you are projecting on those and not looking at just the two-dimensional circular transverse plane of the sphere. And I think that's the key to really coping. Well, it's maybe not the key, but it's a key to coping with the fact that you have so much more complexity underlying your motives and persona and anima in your brain. It's not just the circle, it's the entire sphere, the entire consciousness and being of who you are.